What's up, everyone? We're back. It's Ball or Nothing.
Ball!
Yeah. I'm your host, Johnny Roberts, with me with my good friends Jasper, Grover, Edward Dunstan, and gentlemen, I'm looking at the ladder and I think it's upside down. I think it should be the other way, where it shouldn't be the case that Saints, Pies, Blues, and Dees are... I mean, the Dees make sense. But I think it should be the Cats, maybe the Hawks, but the Dogs, Suns, Lions, Port Adelaide would make a
No, you can't say
much
definitely
better.
all the others, but maybe the Hawks. That's definitely the Hawks should be
But
second.
no, it's-
I agree.
The top. So, Jasper, the toilet bowl this coming Monday.
The spoon bowl.
The spoon bowl. The oh crap! What was the rookie's name again?
Who? Oh, Harley Reid.
Yeah, the Harley Reid Bowl.
Harley Reid.
Yeah.
You see the new
Presumptuous number
Cruiser
one
Cup.
pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Jeez,
need to
how
come
many
up
of
with a
those
cool
did
name
Carlton
for,
have? They had the Bryce Gibbs Cup because that was against the Bombers.
When did they lose all their picks? Basically after that.
Yeah, mid 2000s, I guess.
Yeah.
What I like about Harley Reid is he's got the Geelong natural hairstyle going on. He's got the beautiful blonde straight hair, slicked back with a headband. He'll slot
What is
right
like
in.
a catchy name we can use for either lose games for lose for X, like you need a rhyming word to go with the player's name, Harley Reid. So you need to be like riding.
I know
the
what you
Harley-
mean.
No. Yeah. I can't even-
the tank. When there was the tank for tour in the NFL.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. I've been actually trying to think of some. I can't think of any. It's not very friendly, Riley or Harley.
Actually,
Harley Reid.
okay.
Harley Reid.
Back on your ladder thing, I was just looking at it then,
Sure.
and it's like of the AFL era, I would probably think about Geelong, Hawks, Lions, and West Coast, and probably Adelaide as well, as like the most successful teams of that era. And they
over the
are
last sort
out
of like
out
5
the
or 6
top
years.
8. So yeah, I mean, no, out of the top, like probably 10 or 15 even, because Brisbane
Sure.
Lions had the three-peat. That is beautiful reading. And Essendon and St Kilda, and I mean really Melbourne as well, and North, all just shithouse teams for like 20 years in the top 8. So
Did you see that it was the first time since 1974 that Bombers had played the Saints and both of them were in the top 4?
yeah. Well, look, it's probably not going to happen again this season even if we do that.
No, Saints
Speaking
are
of,
doing well.
Yeah.
Not to jump around from game to game, but speaking
Yeah.
of stats from a long time ago, it's the
Yeah.
first time since 1976 that the reigning premiers have started the season 0-3.
I've got that one.
Not-
That's a good one.
Yeah,
Hey, that was
Great one, I think.
that was
I
to go
mean,
with
the 0-2 was Hawks in 09, so I can't give you too much shit. But 0-3 is the whole nother level.
Look, we can still make the finals. And actually, what I
Sydney did in 2017, they started like 0-6 or something, didn't they?
yeah, they were 0-6 and finished 6th on the ladder. Carlton did it in 2013. They finished 8th, but it was kind of by default of way of Bombers.
Yeah,
losing
I
their
liked
place.
I liked how you fit the Essendon supplement saga into this segment, even without
Always do.
It's impossible not to. It's just an all-encompassing story. What big drug cheats Essendon were.
Yeah, true.
Cats have done it previously in 2004. Started 0-3 and went on to finish 4th on the ladder. So, look,
It's a different
I look at
those
time.
I look at those teams and I don't go like, oh, gee, like they went on to be amazing.
Yes.
Like, because I remember North Melbourne made the prelim that year, but they got absolutely thumped in that prelim and in the qualifying. Anyway, but Geelong could make the finals. I think if any team is going to do it, it's going to be Geelong because, like,
I would still
have all
bet on
those.
making the finals.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so say you're putting money on now.
Hmm.
They do or do not make the finals. What are you saying? I'm saying they make the finals.
I'm saying they do not.
Finals,
Really?
I probably think like I reckon they'll finish like 12-10 or something in terms of wins. And I think if that's the case, they
puts you in the
probably
finals.
just I would say they just miss. I reckon they'll come like 9th or something. I reckon they'll end up being actually a decent team towards the end of the year. I reckon just like right now, they're
Well, they're definitely not one right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know whether we want to get into that game or not, or whether
Let's do it because
somewhere else.
I will see. Before the game, I had thought, okay, we're still a chance to make the finals. That's fine. It was brutal. It was a brutal game. Here is one thing that does go against my train of thought that the Cats won't make the finals. So the last time a team who won 16 plus games in a row and then lost 3 consecutive games after that was, or this is the only other time it's happened, was the Dees, and it was last year. So can happen to anyone.
And Dees are back on top, so I mean they're obviously also a much younger side, but doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
there are all kinds of stats that you can push and pull to sway your argument one way or another. At the end of the day, it's a new season, new-ish team. So I'm not all out on them just yet.
This is good,
then
though.
Again, you were out on them before the Gold Coast game, saying that they were going to lose that, and I thought you were being hyperbolic, and here we are.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the Suns, they needed that win. Like, I actually quite enjoy this because I feel like this is the first time in all of our 3 years of doing the pod that we've actually been able to talk in depth about Geelong, because usually it's met with Jasper. You like to just rag on them as much as you possibly can because they've been successful. And now we can actually talk objectively about it.
Yeah, I can rag on them also unsuccessful. For the time being, I'm the only one here predicting that they'll make the finals. So
I thought you were about to say this is the first time we've been able to talk about them not being like in premiership contention. So
yeah, I mean it is. It's like for like. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
6 of one, half a dozen the other.
No, the game was brutal against the Suns.
Take us through the game. What happened? What was the
Did you not watch it, Eddie? Like
I did watch it, but I feel like John would have watched it closer as a Geelong fan. So
I think it just sort of seems like no one player is in a position where they're able to be at the level that they were last year, except for Jeremy Cameron, of course, and even like Tom Stewart's been great as well. But like our defense has been struggling. Zach Tui has been okay, but not quite at the level he was. With Tom Stewart out, it makes it really challenging. I think people forget as well, like De Koning, he's just a second-year player. Like he's only played 27 games of footy, so there's always like a huge amount of pressure on him there's this expectation that he's one of the vets. Jack Henry hasn't been around. Like our defense is struggling.
Hawkins is a shell of himself.
Oh my God, Hawkins looks so slow out there. He looks in pain. They need to rest him.
He was captain of the All Australian team last year. How many goals? I think like 2 goals this year.
I'm not sure that he's recovered from his surgery, but like Jeremy Cameron. My God, thank God for Jeremy Cameron. He's put up like 40% of our total points this season so far, I'm pretty sure. He was not kicking great on the weekend, and when he's not kicking great, it puts us in a really tough spot. But he was kicking like a dude who had just had a baby a few days prior. So,
I was going to say Tom Hawkins looks every bit of his 34 years old right now. So
he's like lumbering,
hobbling, trying to chase a ball down and stuff like that. I was going to say about Geelong is like because I've watched the first two. Because they get every blockbuster game now. Because a good team, another team goes up against them. Carlton in the second rounds. Someone good before that, or in the first round. They had 2 big.
We started with Collingwood, which in hindsight it doesn't look too bad now.
Huge game.
The Blues.
Game.
I think we could have won it. I'm not sure. Like people love the Blues. They're on the Blues. I'm not. I need to see them beat like a top tier team, and I don't think it was the Cats.
I mean, I feel like round 2 beating the reigning premiers is always it's not a bad way.
Sounds like a good thing until you're like,
well, sure. If they end up missing the finals, then you're like
a shell of the reigning premiers.
But until you can't say that you don't have those rearview mirror glasses on right now. At the moment, they're still the reigning premiers as of 4 games ago.
Is that you trying to pump yourself up for Easter Monday, Jazz, and being like, you could knock off the reigning
the spoon bowl? No, mate, you know what I mean. I'm a pessimistic supporter, so Geelong coming up 3 losses means that they're going to absolutely wallop us on Monday.
What's wild about that game is it doesn't matter in the past if like the Cats are on top and the Hawks are on the bottom, or vice versa. I feel like it's still always one of the most competitive games in the calendar.
That's always why it's been one of the better rivalries, is because it doesn't really matter who's on top and who's not. It's always been competitive.
Yeah, I mean that's why this Monday is going to be so insane, is because when was the last time they were neck and neck like this? It must have been like 2016, 2017.
Neck and neck. It's ankle and ankle.
Still competitive.
I'd be interested to know. I can't remember when the Easter Monday started. Probably like 10 years ago. Oh, probably more, like 2009 maybe. I can't remember the last time both teams would be this low coming into this round.
No, I'm not sure either. So coming off the win against North, how are you feeling, Jazz? How's your confidence?
After going into Spoon Bowl, coming up Clarko Bowl, where our bowl is full and we're ready. Yeah, I mean, North is the opposite of Geelong in that way. Like if you said, "Oh, you beat North, the reigning wooden spooners in round 3," you'd be like, "Oh yeah, whoop-de-doo."
Yeah, true.
Jazz, I want to get your thoughts on: have you ever been at the, I'm assuming you don't have a private jet, but like, let's say you're at the train station. No, you're at the train station. You see someone that maybe you don't like that much, or maybe, whatever, and you have chosen to get on a separate train carriage because you're like, I don't want to really like go through this, because it sounds like that's what Clarko did,
Oh, with the not getting on the plane.
They played plane chicken, and Clarko got out of the way. So yeah,
he was just being professional I mean, it makes sense. Well, he was the head of that team like 18 months ago, so it makes sense to want to distance yourself.
If you want to be the big dog, the rooster, you got to get on that plane and act like nothing's happened. So
nothing. Still act like the coach of Hawthorn.
Yeah, exactly.
There's actually
cop out from Clarko.
Of Clarko at North earlier this season in the offset, like preseason, giving a rev up speech or giving a speech to the North players, and he says it's something like you're going to give just a part of your life to the Hawthorn club, and he's like, "Oh, I meant North." Like he's still obviously so in that mindset of he was there for nearly 20 years that that's the automatic thing that comes to his mind.
Jeez, that's big. That is like your new girlfriend saying your old
exactly.
boyfriend's name, whatever. Like, no, I'm totally over them. It's cool.
So basically, we cucked North on the weekend.
You did. You totally cucked them.
That was a good win. Good win for.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, any win I will take. Like, I thought we could have gone winless throughout the season, so I'm happy to get one early-ish.
So Cats are 29-point favourites for this game. Don't know about that. Don't know about kicking 29 more points than the Hawks. 5 goals.
I honestly think it's going to be another 10 goal drubbing, at least.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't feel good about the Suns.
It's like asking Eeyore to give tips or whatever. Mate, Jasper's the most like pessimistic, depresso Hawthorn
Before the Sydney game, I said we were going to lose by about 80, and we lost by.
Oh yeah, you're about right. Yeah,
so it means I'm going to be right.
Maybe it is realistic. No way, that's going to be a close game.
No, I do not think it's close.
I'm not a betting
Tom
man.
Stewart is going to go absolutely bananas.
In the back line, what's he going to do? Chip it around and get 40 touches? Like,
yeah, he's going to take 12 marks and he's going to get 35 touches because we was
Tom Stewart was bananas last week. 29 touches, 13 marks, 11 intercepts, 93% kicking efficiency, 563 meters gained, 8 rebounds, 4 score involvements, and a goal assist.
And that's in a loss.
It's not bad.
On my bench as well, doing that.
Yeah, that was a mistake. I feel like Geelong Hawthorn is going to be a close game, with Geelong in horrible form and Hawthorn being an enthusiastic young, brigade of players.
Yeah, we're struggling. Our mids are really struggling. I think one of the things that Chris Scott was saying is he wanted to try and bring a bit of speed into our midfield, but the cost of that is so far has been maybe experience between our players. We're just not that sort of unit that we were last year. So yeah, we'll see. A couple of other games this week that should be good that I wouldn't mind going through. The game tomorrow night at the Gabba, Lions Pies, should be really, really good. Pies are absolutely on fire.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be a hot one because Brisbane, like, they're up and down form this year. Pies are red hot, but up at the Gabba, one of the 2 times Collingwood travels out of state this season. So
yeah,
it'll be an interesting test.
Also, Collingwood's going to have to play small ball because they don't have any ruckman. So,
what happened to that? What happened? Hang on, let me have a look.
Darcy Cameron's injured. It's been plastered every. So, okay. Long story short, listeners, my partner's parents are staying with us, and they still read paper newspapers, and they buy it every day. And so I get to read.
You get the newspaper delivered?
I used to, but I live in an area where they actually don't deliver it. So, anyway, I've been reading the Sport every day, and every newspaper is very concerned about Collingwood's lack of ruckman. So Dan McStay is going to have to ruck against Oscar McInerney and some other ruckman the whole time. So
McStay comes in trouble. Game.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened to? I can't believe. What happened to Mason Cox? Is he injured or just delisted?
Couldn't tell you which injury, but he's got an injury.
Yeah,
and
let me have a look at that.
Hopefully, it's not in something to do with those specs of his. And then Darcy Cameron got some injury as well. He's going to be out for maybe 6 weeks or something.
Okay, Darcy Cameron 6 to 8 weeks with a knee. Mason Cox hematoma.
Ribs. Yeah, and he's got bruised ribs, I think.
Yeah,
shit. That sounds bad.
And then Lipinski's still out until at least the bye. Jeremy Howe, won't see him for a while. Yeah, so it should be interesting. Lions injury list. Let's have a look. Oh, they've just got Darcy Gardner and Daniel Rich, but they should be good to go, I think. And I reckon drop Darcy Fort, obviously, because he sucks.
I reckon the Lions just win that game.
Do you really?
I reckon Joe Danaher will play a better game, and then they play much better up at the Gabba, and I reckon Collingwood will miss a ruckman against them. And
this is a tough one because I got the Big O as my backup ruckman on my fantasy team.
Yeah, Lions play.
So he could have a very big outing against the Pies with no ruckman. But my primary ruckman is Tim English, who's absolutely killing it this year.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Tim English is good.
So it's for me.
I mean, Oscar McInerney is going to get about 65 hitouts tomorrow night. So if that's what you want in terms of, he doesn't get huge possessions, but
no, he still gets good points. But this one might be a big one.
Oh, okay, can we talk about the next game? As in, the North Melbourne Carlton. Is this the most nothing? Game absolutely. In terms of
of a Friday
special
night game.
Thingo or whatever.
Good Friday.
Yeah, well, it's Good Friday.
Wow.
It's
which is so fucked up that they took it away from the Dogs. They had for 2 years, and then
you got to build something over time. Yeah, you can't just expect that it's going to be massive.
And also, wasn't the Dogs absolutely drubbing North both times?
Yeah, we played North one year on Good Friday and we spanked them.
Yeah, so take it away from North, if any team.
Yeah, exactly.
So North lost Luke Davies-Zuniac last week, but he should be okay with the calf. And Callum Coleman-Jones foot should be okay though. Blues, after Patrick Cripps in pretty awesome 42 disposals last week against the Giants. They'll be without Blake Acres suspended. Matt Kennedy, Caleb Marchbake's still out. Jack Martin's still out. Oh, he could play. Sam Walsh, he should be back soon, right?
I
thought he was meant to be back by
he had a synostosis or something, didn't he?
He had a pretty decent injury, I feel like. I don't know how long he expected to be out for.
I'm going to put it out there. I actually think the Kangaroos are going to beat Carlton.
So I kind of think that as well. I think the Blues are not all that.
I agree.
If you think about their first game to the Tigers have not been impressive. They've got like a pretty good defense, but they're struggling to score. And the Blues are in the same position. They've got a okay defense. They've got a good offense, but it's mostly just the Charlie Curnow show and then all the smalls.
Yeah. And they have Harry Mackay, but Harry Mackay's going to kick like 2 goals this year. So
Harry Mackay hasn't been great. He hasn't been playing.
He's been average.
Yeah.
And he might actually play against his brother this week.
He's not. He's already been ruled out, Ben Mackay.
Who has?
Ben, one of them. I'm pretty sure it's Ben Mackay. Yeah.
This is uncanny because it's like 8 years in a row or something.
8 years, yeah.
8 years that one of them is injured or the other's, injured. Yeah. So it's like, it's crazy.
Who did the Blues play round 2? I'm trying to think. They played the Cats, of course. This is what I'm saying. Like Geelong's average. Yeah, we almost beat them. Tigers, same thing. The Tigers have been pretty average. And then the Giants
fumbled over the line with potentially some umpire assistance in round 3. So, yeah.
And they're 5-goal favourites on the Roos.
Yeah, I just think
I definitely take the points.
Like Clarko, he is a good coach, and I reckon he's got North Melbourne playing pretty well. So, and Luke Davis-Uniacke is apparently like a gun this year. So,
yeah, he's been awesome. He's like the number 3 rated midfield so far. I think it's like
that's pretty good.
Clayton Oliver, Patrick Cripps, and then Luke Davis-Uniacke.
Okay. Can I say something about these ratings?
Please.
And one person who I think does not deserve to be in any of these ratings, but gets just a few like footballers froth over him is Jordan De Goey. It's like
no, you are talking about Matthew Lloyd's ranking.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you're talking about Matthew Lloyd.
No, but not just him though. I feel like Damien Barrett whenever he's talking about Jordan De Goey.
Damien Barrett who wants to move the fucking showdown to Melbourne.
Both of them.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a flog call. Sorry, it's a flog call to like say that Jordan De Goey is even in the top 10 midfielders in the competition. I reckon maybe he's top 20, maybe. But like that's on potential. Like
based on the first 3 games of the season, he's probably top 10 or top 15. But 3 games isn't the whole career. So and that's Lloyd's his justification is that he's just basing off the games played this year alone. But even then, he's not been top. He's not been. He had Clayton Oliver like 6 or something when he's probably the second.
No way, Clayton Oliver is far and away better than Jordan De Goey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so De Goey is 23rd overall in total fantasy points, which I know it's just fantasy points, but like there is some weight to that in terms of like disposal, kicking efficiency, and scoring goals.
Who are the top 5, if you've got that?
So here's a couple of players in front of him. So, okay, top players are Clayton Oliver. Actually, I'm just going to call out the midfielders because Harry Sheezel's in there, man. He's number 3 overall. What a pickup. Thank you. Clayton Oliver, Tim Taranto, Will Setterfield, Tom Liberatore, Darcy Parish, Tom Green, Brayshaw, Caleb Sarong, Brad Crouch, Will Day, Mason Wood. These guys are and Zach Merritt. These guys are all ranking.
What a day for Will Day! What a gun!
I know it's all matchup dependent, but like I think there's plenty more players. Like, yeah.
Anyway. You're going to say about did Purple Damien Barrett say that this week, Jazz? That's
yesterday. I'm pretty sure he said it.
Oh my god!
I think he started it last year and he reiterated it this year.
I was about to agree with you, but I actually think I agree with him. That'd be cool. I'd go.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? How can you agree with that? Not to get all fucking Carol or whatever on you, but what are you absolutely doing? It's a showdown between 2 intercity rivals. Why would you want to play it interstate?
I think it'd be like a cool idea. I think what everyone is bearing the lead on is he suggested that it should be played at Marvel.
Yeah.
Rather than the MCG.
That is insane. Why would you move it interstate to play at Marvel? Play at the MCG.
Exactly.
Why would you move it interstate at all?
Yeah. I got to say, it would be cool. I wouldn't go. I'd still watch it on TV.
I reckon I'd go.
The
You can watch
novelty
it on
though.
TV when it's interstate.
If you want to see them play,
That's
like
true.
go to Adelaide and watch them play. Like that would be part of the experience of
I reckon it'd be impossible
spending a
to
weekend
get
in
a showdown
Adelaide.
ticket, wouldn't it? It's like going to the
Sure,
El
yeah, it would be.
Clasico in Madrid or whatever. Like,
I don't know if it's that high.
it's definitely as high and has easily as much international viewership.
That's why Paul played all those games in China because
Against their arch rivals, the Gold Coast.
Hey, while we're talking about these interstate ideas, do you have any thoughts on commentators not calling the games from the stadium
It's fucking
/
stupid.
being in a different city state?
Yeah, it's awful. I can commentate a game from my lounge room watching a game on TV.
Yeah.
Like if they
Well,
don't
it
want to
was your mate Luke Hodge who was the one who I feel like I'm in agreement with. I don't give a shit. I don't care if they're not at the stadium.
I like hire people that are local there. Then like,
But
give
they
other
do.
people the job.
Which
Like-
game was it that Hodge was calling that he wasn't there?
I don't think it was. I think it was one of the showdown games or one of the Adelaide teams.
It's a lot of
But
games, I think.
But I think they're just talking about games in general. But I don't really care if like Anthony Hudson and Dwayne Russell are in the studio and Matthew Pavlich is down on the sideline, commentating a Freo game. Like they've got their ex players who all commentate their teams. Like,
But it comes.
It doesn't
up in
affect me.
I can't remember the specific scenario, but they had misjudged like how far a kick had gone, or there was something that you would have seen if you were at the stadium.
Yeah, okay.
And that you don't get on a 2D screen, so you have no depth of field. So
Sure,
they
but
missed.
I think what they were trying to say is you've got so many different screens and angles, you can actually consume more and see more than what you would if you were just at the stadium looking onward.
No, I think you're just a 21st century guy, and I'm a 21st century guy.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but I don't like they should be open about. Do they say like, Hodgie, how is it from your house? And
they do not say that.
Because I don't like people being pretending that they're all at the stadium together or something. It's like, no, just be open about it and honest. And it's like, then he can be a special comments man that's like sitting in the MCG, media room and commentating from there. Don't pretend like you're at the game. So I don't like it, but
All right.
it just seems lazy.
Yeah,
it does. But it does. Like my thing is, it doesn't affect me watching at home on the couch too much. I don't think.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back. And there's a couple of things I want to finish on. My top 5 moments from round 3. Sadly, there aren't 5 because, to be honest, it wasn't that much of an amazing round. And also, we didn't really get a chance to watch a lot of it. And then also we'll go through power rankings and we'll talk about a couple more games this weekend.
I'll fill out your top 5. I've got one for you, Johnny.
You've got one? Okay, cool. I'm still interested in a couple of games. I think like Crows Dockers is going to be good. I think Tigers Dogs will be really good. I think Swans and Port Adelaide. I still believe in Port Flagelaide. But we'll chat about that in a sec. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Like I was saying just before the break, I couldn't come up with 5. It's debatable whether I even came up with 2 or 3. So we'll have a look at them. Jasper, did you want to kick off with yours first, or should I jump into mine first? Is yours 5?
No, it's just one. It's
yours is the number 1.
The top moment of last weekend is the reason why there is no top 5, and that is Pat and Ellie's wedding.
Oh. Of course.
That was top 1 moment of my weekend.
Yeah, so little peek behind the curtain. We didn't record last week because we were all extremely hungover after a box that was organised throughout the week, followed by the wedding on the weekend. So we did miss quite a few games. Eddie was happy about that. I kind of wish Geelong and the Suns had played during that time we couldn't watch, but good for them. All right. My number 4 moment was Freo looking like Freo again. I know the Eagles were severely banged up towards the end of the game. I've got a note here. Even going into this weekend so the Eagles play the Dees this weekend at Optus Stadium. They're going to be without Jerry McGovern, Liam Ryan, and Jamie Cripps. They all require surgery. They all got injured. So that's just going to be
2022 all over again for them.
Yeah, that's it. So they're going to I think someone was saying they're going to have to like fast track their rebuild already because they are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, they made a good game of it. Like, they came back and then they just snapped the legs in the last 10, 15.
Yeah. It was even just in the last 5 minutes from what I was watching. So that was kind of cool. And the Michael Frederick flip was
cool.
Awesome. I freaking love that.
West Coast look like Saints in like 2012, like just about to dip into the abyss for like the next 8 years. So,
yeah, they don't really. Who's like Oscar Allen, who's like another up and coming like potential All Australian.
Is it Matt Jidby, the Rising Star nominee?
Their first since when was it? Like 2001.
Yeah, it was
Ben Cousins.
Yes. So it wasn't
Ben
too
Cousins
bad.
got one in 2001.
Yeah.
Who is it? Like Jermaine Jones has been okay. It really is Oscar Allen. Jack.
That's how you describe. I reckon any West Coast player.
West Coast.
Yeah.
That's the headline for you.
Any West Coast player under 28, you'd be like, they're okay.
Yeah,
that's how I describe them. But
so what should happen is
I'm worried about a lot of the Hawks being in the same boat. But
okay.
With that said, I think Tim Kelly should come back to Geelong because I'd take him back in a heartbeat. I'm always vocal about that.
Well, I mean, the midfield is probably your most lacking area.
My God, can you imagine if he came back? We would be such an improved team.
Look, obviously, I'm showing my ignorance here, but I feel like he hasn't been that good since he's been over there.
Yeah.
Do you think he would just slot back to the way he was pre-move?
I think he's probably been in their top 3 players over the last year or two.
Well, over the last year is not a long time when they have been very shit.
Yeah, well, I was going to say behind like Jamie Kennedy and
Josh Kennedy.
Sorry, Josh Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy.
That show from the 90s.
Yeah, the Kennedy Factor.
Jamie Kennedy.
The other one I want to shout out was Tom Barras. He's been all right. Barras. Barras.
He's old, isn't he? He's like 28, 29.
Is he? I thought he was young.
No, he's not. He's
been around for
young.
That's what I mean. They're cooked.
Okay.
They've got that up-and-coming youngster, Shannon Hearn.
He's at most 35, 36 years old.
No, he's got another 10, 15 years ahead of him.
Yeah. Friend of the show, Liam, would attest to being, you can be in your late 30s and be very fit and healthy. So,
I mean, just a fun fact, Shannon Hearn, I think, is entering, I can't remember what game he's actually playing this weekend, but whatever game number it is, it will put him in the top 50 most games played ever. And that he will be the first Eagle to ever do so. Crack the top 50 games played.
Good for him.
I still going strong. He's going to be put into retirement or something because he's so old and decrepit. But
yeah, not like us. We are young bucks.
Oh yeah.
My number 3.
Can I put a top? Oh,
sorry. Yeah, go. No, please jump in.
Can we do a top 5.5?
Sure.
I don't know whether you're going to mention Thursday night. An incident from Thursday night's game.
Eddie, do you read the notes?
Bulldogs and Brisbane.
Have you seen what's number 1?
So I'll just leave it to you. Yeah.
I think I know what you're going to say, it might be my number 1.
Yeah. That's okay. That's mine. Yeah.
Number 3.
Cut that out.
Saints 150 years. Did anyone have any thoughts on the Saints? I still think that. Okay, look, the Saints are better than I made them out to be at the start of the season.
I think they're better than everyone thought they'd be, including Saints supporters.
Yes.
You know what's strange is that
they're not this good though.
Yeah,
they're not number 1.
Not with these injuries. It's going to be hard to sustain, I feel like.
Well, what's strange is that their biggest strength this season is that they just look like so fit, and yet they're also getting really injured. So, because the bits I did watch the game, yeah, true, all that anti-doping. But what I watched little bits of the game. And I've watched St Kilda's other games, and like they just look like they are so kind of motivated and fit and organized. That's what they look like. They don't look like that skilled. They just look super organized and really fit. And
so they're going for the Ken Hinkley of Port of 2014 era.
Yeah,
of just trying to outlast the opponent.
Yeah, they just look fucking fit. Like, yeah.
Okay, look, they beat Freo round 1 by 15 points. They did a really good job on the Dogs, 51 points in round 2. And then they beat the Bombers by 18. It was tight, though, that the Bombers were right there with them. So, I don't know.
Yes.
They played the Suns this weekend.
I reckon this is you just trying to hype up Essendon by way of hyping up Saints.
Oh, yeah. Essendon.
Congratulate yourself on getting so
Essendon
close to
almost
this monster of a team.
A contender.
Bombers played a great game. Don't know if they're contenders, just with the premiership odds at this stage. So Collingwood in second, so they're $5. Carlton at $8. Dees are $5. The Swans in fifth at $9. The Saints are in first place, $21. So sucks to suck. So we'll see how that goes.
Ask a question without notice. Do you think the Saints will win a premiership in our lifetime? Like, serious question. Like, they obviously have only won one premiership in 150 years.
I can't see them winning one in the next 5 years for me.
Yeah? Your lifetime.
I think that the problem with the Saints is it requires them to beat, like, all it takes is one other team to be better than them, and then they've they're not going to be able to do it. So what they nearly did in 2010, was it, or 2011?
Yeah.
Both years, really.
Both years, yeah.
So close.
So, like,
09 and 10.
Like,
who are their key players on their team? Like, do they have a key forward?
Mason Wood. They do have a key forward. Ben King.
Well, Ben King.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's injured right now. Like, Dan Butler seems to be, like, their go-to forward. Oh, I guess, like, Jermaine Gresham.
Jade Gresham.
Huh?
Jade Gresham?
Jade Gresham.
Say Jermaine Gresham. Yeah.
All right.
Were you reading some Jermaine Greer earlier today,
Yeah, I'll get back on that one.
I think Saints are like, they're good, but are they going to be great? Probably not, but we'll see. I would love them to be.
I
would love them to win the premiership, but they won't. So
I'm not huge on them. Okay, number 2 was Jack Lukosius, 73-meter bomb from the square on my Cats.
What a kick.
Jack Lukosius kicked 5 goals on the Cats. Jack Lukosius, one other time in his entire career, has kicked more than 1 goal.
Wow.
He put up 5 goals on us. He's only ever kicked singles. He destroyed us.
Yeah.
The bomb from the square.
I reckon that was the best kick for goal I have seen. Oh,
it's got to be goal of the year.
It's the best drop punt I've seen in a long time. You can get some cool bananas, check sides, and torps and whatnot, but drop punt, it's hard to make it look cool. And they're fucking bombing it from 80 meters out.
Yeah, it's crazy because I think, you know, someone pulling off a kind of miracle torp, it's like, is a bit of fluke in that. Whereas I feel like a drop punt from 75 meters out or whatever it was, that was insane. It just kept going. And I think everyone had the same thought. It was like, he is taking the piss. He's not going to be able to kick.
That's what I thought.
Because players do it all the time. But
actually, who was on the mark was like, I'm like looking at the umpire like, you can't be serious. You can't seriously allow this.
Yeah. That's awesome. It was so good to watch.
Do you know what else is awesome? Is the Geelong VFL side played the Suns that day as well, and they lost. Geelong VFL side lost by 18 goals to the Suns.
Ooh,
holy moly.
So if you think it's bad in the team at the moment...
I didn't even know you could kick that many goals in a game, let alone lose by that.
Can only get worse. But hey, even better than that. Number 1, Jamari Ugle-Hagen. Jamari Ugle-Hagen silences all the haters. 5 goals on the Lions.
Yeah, it was good.
Everything was awesome about that. Eddie, I'm sure that's what you were going to say.
No, I was going to say.
Okay, fair enough.
No, that was definitely. I can't think of it. Who could say anything else of note about that game other than Jamara Ugle-Hagan kicking 5 goals? It was like I was trying to think of anything of note that happened aside from everyone shitting on Joe Danaher about how crap he's been this year. Jamara Ugle-Hagan was the story of that game. Yeah, he's pretty bad right now. But
Jack
I knew this about Joe that he could. Yeah. But like, yeah, how good is Jamara? It was. I want him to be. He looks like he could be like such an exciting player, and he was on Thursday. So, and fucking, sticking it to racists out there. So that's good thing.
Yeah, it was an awesome silencer. It was kind of also just to go back to the Lions for a second. My hesitation on what the Lions have always been going in, like they beat the Dees with a scoreline, like they could not miss against the Dees. And I think that the Lions do a really good picking apart like zone defenses, and Dees are really famous for their zone defense. But the Lions, man, they struggle. So they kicked 14-9 on the Dees. They struggle against man coverage, I think, because they're always trying to like compete and hit targets. So, and the Dogs are like a really, really, really heavy man coverage team. So 7-11 against the Dogs. Like they've been famous for being that really inaccurate, like high powered team, but really inaccurate team. I think that might start to catch up with them.
You'll be happy to know that the most inaccurate team this year so far is Hawthorn. So,
wow.
Meanwhile, I think Melbourne's at the top as far as accuracy goes.
Are you saying, Jasper, that if Hawthorn had kicked straighter, they might actually be a really good team?
I'm saying if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. I have bad kicking is bad football. It doesn't matter.
All right, Ed, let's jump to your rules, and then we'll finish with power rankings, and we'll look forward to the weekend.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so thank you, John. Just a quick explainer for everyone again about this segment each week. I'm just going to pitch a few ideas to John and Jazz about, basically my favorite thing in AFL, which is rules to fix the problems in the game. And so what I'm going to do is kind of like introduce them, and then John and Jazz are going to have a say in whether I email this to info@afl.com.au. So this week on Rules the World, we're going to fix the problem on everyone's lips. It is umpire dissent. It's outrageous. It's obnoxious. It's downright disreputable.
I like how you can't say disrespectful, because that's the whole point of the rule being enforced.
No, I was trying to make how like bringing the game into disrepute is the AFL's go-to for like just nebulous things. I tried to put that in this sentence. So if you don't know, umpire Craig Fleer gave a free kick to Carlton after Steve Caniglio gestured with his arms up to the umpire and uttered, "Why was that a free kick?" The big footy world and many well-known blokey middle-aged commentators, to no one's surprise, were outraged that the umpire paid this free kick. Anyway, you may be able to tell that I am also, to no one's surprise, on the side of the umpire. But here we have the issue. Whether right or wrong, umpire dissent's big one in the game. So I'm going to pitch to you, John and Jazz, and you just tell me whether I'm sending this on to AFL.com. Okay, so how about first idea? Maybe we don't stop the dissent. The umpires wear noise-cancelling headphones. What you don't hear can't hurt you. Thoughts?
I mean, I'm for that if it stops these silly fees being paid.
So they won't be able to hear anything on the field.
But the issue is not with hearing; it's with the gesture.
The gesture as well.
Come
Yeah,
on,
they need the
okay.
horse blinders on
Yeah.
as well.
There's also been some.
You might argue they're already wearing.
Yeah, okay, so it's not going to stop the physical gesturing at them, but they're going to be like, I can't hear you. I can't hear what you're saying. They wouldn't be able to hear the crowd either. So
Maybe they just think that they're Italian people and they're just gesticulating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, but I'm thinking like you said, you can't get rid of the visual umpire disrespect dissent. So let's scratch that one, okay? Next one. All right. Okay, my next solution: players aren't allowed to say anything during the game. So what about that?
It's gonna make those mic'd up segments a little bit harder. All the times that you hear, and
they can sign maybe, but like they can't
what
say
if it's
anything.
in another language?
No, just nothing.
Nothing.
Players absolutely silent. They can't even say yes. They're
I'm
just
not
gonna
for that. I like that's gonna take away some atmosphere in the game. So that's, I'm against that one. You can
What about you?
throw that one in the bin.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Is there like a decibel level that they can't go over? So like, because if they get
do they whisper to the guy next to
if they get hit and they let out like,
wearing
would that not
meters
be
around their
creepier?
neck, like dog shot collars or whatever.
Yeah. If they whispered to the umpire like a threat. Okay,
no, I'm saying
right.
like if they take a hard hit and they go over a decibel level, then it's a free kick to the other team. Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. Okay.
Like
no,
there has to be
try and hold it
absolute
in.
silence.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Monks
that
are going to
one's
be
too
like
hard.
the
Injuries.
highest rated draftees. Those silent monks. They're going to be really highly rated.
Exactly. They should be trained in like transcendental meditation and stuff. Okay. Third one. You guys are going to love this. So the players are only allowed to say positive things or compliments. Because if you don't have anything nice to say, you shouldn't say anything at all.
Isn't that what they want to achieve? Isn't that the whole point of the dissent rule?
Yeah, okay, but it's like so you can say something to the umpire, but it's got to be positive after. Even if it's been a bad decision
like
against you.
a passive aggressive positive? Oh, great work, umpire! Good work, good, nice call.
I think I'd take that because, like, I mean, it's like obviously it's the umpire's emotional interpretation,
the tone that you apply to it.
Because I mean, it just has to be positive.
You could even include the gesture, and you could say, "Jesus, umpire, how good was that decision?"
Exactly. This solves everything.
We'd be like, "Fucking great call, umpire! Great work."
Yeah. You can lean into as much like venom as you want, but as long as it ends up being a positive comment, then the umpire could not interpret that as dissent. So.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put.
I really like that one.
Yeah. Okay. This one. Look, I think I was running out of ideas, but okay. Players who throw their arms up, they have to immediately complete that action and do 20 star jumps.
Love it.
And
it'll tire the players out more in an already exhausting game, so it adds a little.
And it turns a negative into a positive that they threw their arms out. It's like now you can do some exercise and like get active. So yeah,
I think that it could actually be part of the weekday training regime is to practice arms up, the old like girlfriend at the cinema, yawn and put your arm around the nearest player, and then if you just practice that a couple of times, then when you go to do the descent, you can follow through.
As long as you're not putting your arm over their shoulder when you do that.
I was gonna say, are we putting the arms around the umpire to give them a hug or something, or like
just whoever's closest. Yeah.
Okay. The other one, I feel like this might be getting into complicated legal territory, but because they're
unlike
TV,
all the others, which would be very
very easy. But in this one. Because the umpires are on TV, a penalty for the players who criticize umpires the umpire could sue them for defamation because they were publicly criticized on a TV and you've damaged their brand, their personal brand. So it's like if you're a player, you want to criticize them, then you could be sued. So
I'm for this because it's going to show what charlatans umpires are. Because then their call is going to come under scrutiny if they take it to court. Because the judge is going to ask why the player was going off at the umpire in the first place. They're going to go, well, he missed an obvious free kick. And then the judge might say that it was justified.
The umpire will be put on trial themselves when they're trying to sue someone else.
I will cross-examine them and treat them as the hostile.
It's like that military officer in Australia who thought he was suing other people, but he ended up having to like tell this shit about himself. What was it, like Andrew Robert Smith or whatever, like the dude who did all that bad stuff over in Afghanistan or whatever.
The war criminal. But the umpires have to wear their fluoro green uniform on the stand.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. With the pull-up socks, and they have to jog around and do all the usual stuff that the umpire does, but in the courtroom as well.
Okay. I'm just going to put a cheeky last one in there before I cut things off.
Of course, there were like at least 7. It's not just like 1 or 2.
It's not actually... Okay. This is just one that I thought was actually fucking great.
They're all fucking great.
Was actually for the time clock rule where Freo got busted for, the week before. And you know how in the BBL how the ball, the stumps light up when the ball hits it? What about when it hits 0, the ball lights up? So and light travels faster than sound. So you'd see that before you hear the siren. But once it hits 0, bing, it's like the ball is like light.
I mean, I'm all for the gamification of our sport and turning it into a spectacular nonsense spectacle. Yeah. But it does come down to the umpire, because it's not necessarily when the siren goes; it's when the umpire calls full time.
Yeah, okay.
So as long as the umpire sees it, and we all know that the umpires are blind as bats, so that may be worse.
And not only that, but also think about at the Gabba last weekend or the weekend before, when the lights went out, they could have kept playing it.
Oh my god, true. This has multiple uses.
They wouldn't have stopped there.
We would have no use for lights at the ground. It would just be in the dark footy with a ball.
Would you be able to turn up the light bright enough to light up a whole stadium?
Yeah, it's really fucking bright. Really. The players all have to wear sunglasses.
So the who's the South Australian team that's possibly putting in a bid for a new AFL team? Anyway, their new song, their club theme song, is going to be Corey's "I Wear My Sunglasses at Night."
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, thank you both. I've got a lot of content to send to AFL.com. So
and they love nothing but content. As long as it's content, they're happy.
I'll tell you what they respond with next week.
Ed, that was fantastic as always.
And that's my tribute for the week.
That was wonderful. What a great way to finish the show. Enjoy the games this week. We will be back next week. There's no more weddings for a long time. Until Eddie, you're away in a few weeks. Still got a bit of time. Any other final notes before we head off?
What game are we all? What's the one game?
Yeah,
is it Easter Monday? Is that the? It's got to be Easter Monday, right? It's a big game. Normally, it's our 2 teams.
I'm excited for Swans Port Adelaide. I still think Port Adelaide's a good team. It's going to be so challenging for them. Sydney conceded 134 points last week. That was the 3rd biggest score they've ever conceded under John Longmuir. Since 2011. So, and of course, the previous one was the fantastic grand final. So, yeah, I think that one will be pretty good.
I gotta say, I looked again at this week's games. This looks like a fucking cracker weekend of footy.
Looks like every game could be good.
So many games. Probably the only one is, I guess, the Dees against the Eagles. That is that's.
Oh yeah, that's going to be
yeah.
Other than that, I reckon every game I am pumped for. And number 1 pumped for is North beating Carlton and deflating the huge blimp of hope that is the Blues.
Fair enough. All right, that sounds good. I'm back on. Ooh, that's overexposed. Okay. We will catch you next week. Enjoy your footy. Thanks for listening. See you soon.